What if one narrow stretch of water suddenly closed? Not a canal, not a port, but one of the most important oil routes on Earth. And within hours, the entire global economy began to feel it. There is a narrow waterway between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. It is called the Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest point, it is only about 33 kilometers wide. Yet through this small passage flows a huge portion of the world's energy supply. Every day, massive oil tankers pass through these waters. They carry oil and gas from countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates. Together, these shipments represent a significant share of the world's oil trade, which raises a serious question. What would happen if the Strait of Hormuz suddenly became blocked? Not temporarily delayed, not slowed down, but completely closed. Imagine the moment it begins. Commercial ships approaching the strait receive urgent notices. Shipping companies issue warnings. Naval patrols report unusual activity. Suddenly, traffic through the waterway stops. Tankers begin turning around. Others anchor offshore. Within hours, satellite images show something unusual. Dozens of massive oil tankers waiting, not moving. Global shipping routes begin changing immediately. Because when the Strait of Hormuz closes, there is no easy replacement route. To understand the impact, we need to understand the scale. Roughly 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz. That means millions of barrels of oil every day. Energy that powers cars, airplanes, factories, electricity plants. And when energy stops moving, the effects travel everywhere. Energy markets react first, but they are not the last. The moment news spreads, financial markets respond. Oil traders react quickly to uncertainty. Prices begin rising, not slowly, but rapidly. Within hours, energy prices surge across global exchanges. Stock markets become volatile. Investors move money into safer assets. Shipping companies pause operations. Airlines begin calculating new fuel costs. Suddenly, the world realizes something important. This is not just a regional problem. It is a global economic shock. Large oil tankers are not small vessels. Some are longer than skyscrapers or tall. They cannot simply take alternate routes easily. Many ports and pipelines are designed specifically around the Strait of Hormuz. Without access to this waterway, oil must travel much farther, sometimes thousands of additional kilometers. Some pipelines can redirect small amounts, but they cannot replace the entire flow, which means supply becomes tighter. And when supply shrinks, prices climb higher. Energy touches every part of modern life. Gasoline for transportation, fuel for ships, energy for power plants. When oil supply becomes uncertain, countries begin preparing. Governments release emergency energy reserves. Energy companies search for alternate supplies. But these reserves are limited. They buy time, not solutions. Meanwhile, ordinary people begin noticing changes. Fuel prices rise. Electricity becomes more expensive, transportation costs increase, and slowly the economic pressure spreads. The world economy depends on reliable shipping. Container ships carry goods across oceans every day: clothing, electronics, machinery, food products. When energy costs rise, shipping becomes more expensive. Some companies delay shipments, others raise prices. Manufacturers begin feeling pressure, because if shipping slows, production slows too. The global supply chain tightens, and shortages can begin appearing in unexpected places. When a strategic waterway becomes blocked, governments pay attention. Naval forces begin moving closer to the region. Ships patrol key routes. Aircraft monitor activity from above. Diplomatic channels become extremely active. Leaders speak with each other urgently because controlling escalation becomes critical. The goal becomes simple: prevent a regional crisis from becoming something larger. In situations like this, diplomacy becomes intense. Countries dependent on energy imports push for quick solutions. International organizations call for stability. Negotiations may begin behind closed doors. History shows that global choke points like the Strait of Hormuz are rarely ignored because the cost of disruption becomes enormous. Every passing day increases pressure on governments, on markets, and on global stability. Most people on Earth would never see the Strait of Hormuz. They may live thousands of kilometers away, but they would still feel its effects: higher transportation costs, rising prices for goods, economic uncertainty. A reminder that the modern world is deeply connected, and sometimes a narrow stretch of water on the other side of the planet can influence everyday life everywhere. The Strait of Hormuz is small, but its importance is enormous. It connects energy producers with the rest of the world, and like many critical choke points, its stability matters to the entire global economy. If it were ever blocked, the consequences would not stay local. They would ripple outward, through markets, through trade, through everyday life. Because in today's interconnected world, even a narrow stretch of water can carry the weight of global stability. This video presents a hypothetical scenario for educational and informational purposes only. It does not predict real-world events and does not support any political position. The goal is simply to explore how global systems might respond if a major strategic waterway were disrupted.